Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Jane here. You're welcome to Jane by Design. So here I'll be showing us how to sew the asymmetric top that we drafted previously on the channel. This is the pattern. I already cut it out on my fabric. If you are new to this channel, thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you as well. On this channel I upload pattern drafting and sewing tutorial. So if you've seen a video on how I drafted this pattern, you know that I slashed the top. I decided to modify it and just give it a simple slash for the front. So I'm not going to be doing the slashing thing at the front of this fabric, at the front of this pattern. I just wanted it to just have a simple clean design on it, style on it. But if you want to go ahead with the slash, you can go ahead and watch my video on how I drafted it. You will see the way I slashed the front panel. Okay, so I'll set that aside now. Also for the back, I didn't the asymmetric effect didn't get to the back. I didn't style it up to the back. On my drafted pattern, I did style it to the back, but on this one I decided to just cut it out and just leave out the back to stop at my hip line. So that is what I did for the back style line. But if you want your own asymmetric effects to also appear at the back, you can just decide to leave it the way it is, the way the front is. Okay, you can decide to leave the back the way the front is. So this is it. I have cut out the main fabric and the lining. Yes, I will be attaching a lining to this. I'm going to be stitching with a lining. And yeah, this is it for it, guys. I've cut out the front, I've cut out the back. Now onto my pieces. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to open up the front and the back. Now what you need to do is to align this properly. If you look at my fabric properly, you will see that I have gone ahead to mark out my stitching allowances on all sides of my fabric, so it will make it easier for you to take to the sewing machine. Even if you're a beginner and you follow those steps, it will make it easier for you to just take to the sewing machine and you know exactly where you are stitching. So what I'm doing right now is to align these pieces for the front. The 3 pieces I have for my front, I'm ensuring that they align properly. I'm using my pins to hold them down so they align properly. Okay, and also I will repeat the same thing for the other side of the front. You can see I have marked out my 1/2 inch stitching allowance at both sides of the front. So when I pin these 2 pieces down, I'm going to take to the sewing machine and we are just going to run a stitch all from the top down to the hem of this top. Okay, so it's as easy as that once you follow the steps. All right, so when I am done pinning, the next thing I'm going to do is to take to my sewing machine. I will just go stitch by 1/2 inch on both sides. When you are done stitching by 1/2 inch on both sides, you will take the yoke of the front. You also place them right sides facing each other and you're going to stitch by 1/2 inch as well. I'm going to be doing the same thing for my back. All right, so this is the back pieces. The back has a dart on it. So the first thing you will need to do is to take this to your sewing machine and you're going to, first of all, you're going to go stitch up your dart first. We're going to go sew down the darts. After you are done sewing down the darts, then you can now join the yoke of the back. Each side of the back, you place them right sides facing each other and you're going to go stitch by the sewing allowance that we've marked out on our fabric. Okay, so you do this for each piece of the back. After stitching up the darts, you go take it to the sewing machine, stitch up the yoke to each side of the back. So I'm going to go do this for the front and for the back. And also remember, we have a lining to it. I'm going to do the same thing to the lining. So this is what I have after I have joined. I also joined at the shoulder line. Okay, now what I did here is to join the lining to the lining at the shoulder line, and then the main fabric to the main fabric at the shoulder line. And also I have ironed it out. So it's important that you iron out your seam. Ensure that you open up your seam and you iron. So this is my lining right here, and to join the front and the back, I've joined it by half an inch at the shoulder. Now this is my main fabric. Okay, I did the same thing for the main fabric. After joining the 3 pieces for the front and the yoke, you can see what I have right here. I have joined it at the shoulder line for the main pieces. Now we're going to be attaching both the front and the back together. That's the main fabric and the lining, sorry. We are going to be joining them together. We have to place them together so that we can cover up all of our stitches and we can continue with this sewing. Now for you to do it, remember that we've joined the front and the back of this pattern separately for the lining, and we've joined the front and the back separately for the main fabric. Okay, this is what it looks like. Now you're going to take your lining pieces. You can see the way I arranged it properly on my table, right side facing up. So you're going to take your lining and you're going to place it on top of it. You're going to place the right side of your lining on top of the right side of the main fabric. Okay, place the lining of your main fabric, place the right side of your fabric and the right side of your lining on top of each other. Ensure that the wrong side is facing you up. Now what you're going to do is you're going to be matching them. Make sure that the shoulder line matches each other. So you're going to pin down, ensuring that the shoulder line matches each other. You're going to pin all around the neckline and also the armhole as well. So we've pinned down the neckline and we've pinned down the armhole. What we're going to do now is to go and run a stitch all the way from the neckline of the back to the front, back to the neckline of the back, and then we are now going to as well stitch up close the armhole for the front and for the back together, just exactly how I have demonstrated on this video. Okay, so after you have joined the main fabric and the lining, this is what you're going to have. You can see all our stitches are concealed inside the armhole and the neckline. Now in order for this to relax, because at this point your stitches have not relaxed properly, you need to also notch the corners. So before you turn it inside out, you need to notch the corners of the neckline and the armhole. This will help it relax properly, so when you turn it inside out, you have a relaxed neckline and you also have a relaxed armhole. So what I'm doing here is cutting out tiny snips on the armhole of the front and the back, and then also towards the curve at the neckline of the front and the back. This is very, very important. So once we are done, we are going to flip this to the right side. So for you to do this, you're going to just open up from the one side of your opening. You can see that we still have an opening because the sides of this top hasn't been joined. You're going to put your hand inside the opening and you're going to just drag all of your fabric out from that opening. So it's easy, just put your hands inside it and then drag everything out. All right, so when you drag everything out, this is what you're going to have after you dragged everything out. You can see the stitches are not relaxed. We need to take this to the ironing board and we need to iron properly. So you're going to take this to your iron and you're going to give it a very good press at the neckline and also at the armhole. So when you're done from your ironing, this is what it should look like: clean, neatly ironed, relaxed neckline and relaxed armhole. Okay, so yours should look like this. So the next thing to do is to join the sides like we did for the armhole and the front. You're going to join the lining to lining first and the main fabric to main fabric. So what you will do is to ensure that you align the stitches you have on your armhole connecting the main fabric and the lining. So ensure that those two stitches align. When you've gotten that alignment, you're going to pin down the lining to lining and you're also going to pin down fabric to fabric. This way you're going to have an inseam finish. Your finishing will be very clean and all of your stitches will be concealed inside of your garment. So I'm going to take this to the machine and stitch by 0.75 inch. on both sides. And after stitching, you can see what I have right now. Beautiful, isn't it? You can see all of my stitches are concealed inside my top. They are not showing. What you have is a very clean surface on the outside and also on the inside. So we are moving on to fixing the zipper. This kind of zipper is an open teeth end zipper. I'm going to be attaching on the main fabric first before using the lining to turn it to cover up the zipper. So the zipper and everything is going to be concealed inside of the top. Okay, so this is an open end zipper. First of all, you need to attach the zipper to the main bodice first. That's to the main garment first. Then you're going to flip your lining towards the right side of your main fabric, right side facing each other. Then you're going to stitch the zipper and the lining down. So that way your zipper is concealed inside. It's only the zipper teeth that will be visible on the outside of your top. I hope you understand. If you don't know how to do this, let me know. Maybe I can do a video on how to attach this kind of zipper and how to do a very clean finishing on a zipper. Okay, so now I will take this to my machine. Now I'm going to go attach my zipper, and after that is done, you can see what I have my sides very aligned properly. I have the zipper sewn in very carefully and clean as well. You can see what it looks like on the inside and also on the outside. See what the zipper looks after concealing with the lining. So what is left is for us to hem the lower part of this top. So you're going to do what we did for the neck. You're going to tuck in all of your fabric inside, ensuring that the right side of the main fabric is facing the right side of the lining on the inside, and on the outside your seams should be the ones facing you on the outside. Now, for you to get a very clean finish for the hem of your top, you are going to have to align your stitches. So you're going to align the stitches you have on your lining and on your main fabric. Ensure that they are properly aligned so that when you take to the machine and stitch down, it stays and it doesn't have a rippling effect. Okay, so that is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go align my stitches, and then I'm going to take to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch. Now, while we are stitching the hemline of this top, ensure to leave about 5 inches. This 5 inches is so that when you are done joining, closing the lining and the main fabric, you now have to bring out all of the fabric that you tucked in earlier. Okay, so that is what we are going to go do, and this is what it looks like after we have done turning it to the right side. You can see the opening we have there. We are going to do a little bit of a hand stitch. If you don't know how to do a hand stitch, you can use your hemming gum to just gum that part and it will stay flat. All right, so this is what it looks like. I love the finishing. This is what the front looks like. Ensure that your pattern aligns properly like what I have right now. Okay, so this is my zipper looking very flat on it. This is the inside of my garment looking beautiful and neatly ironed as well. This is what the hem looks like. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. If you are going to be recreating this, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. If you've not liked this video, please help by liking. I love you guys so much. I will see you guys in my next one. Happy New Year, every one of you, and stay blessed. Bye.